Hi, thanks for tuning in today. This is Brian with Never Quit Nation. This podcast series focuses on motivation and peak performance in all areas of life. I've been an executive in the hospitality industry for almost 15 years, having held director positions at 4 and 5 diamond hotels. I have the training and experience needed to perform at the highest levels, and it is my goal to help motivate and educate people on how to find their purpose and achieve their goals. Never Quit Nation is not just a brand, it's a way of life. Are you a member of Never Quit Nation? Welcome to episode 2 of Never Quit Nation podcast. It's Tuesday, April 12th, 2016, and I want to start off today by wishing my parents a happy 47th wedding anniversary. I wish you both many, many more years of happiness and health. Congratulations on 47 years. It's such an amazing accomplishment. On today's episode, we're going to talk about self-esteem and personal appearance, how those two things kind of tie together. We're also going to talk about focusing on you, making yourself a little bit more of the priority in your life. Lastly, we're going to talk about removing negative people or toxic people from your life and, the effects of what toxic and negative people can have on you, and then the profound change that happens to you in your life when you finally eliminate those people from it. We're going to start today with self-esteem and personal appearance. And so self-esteem is defined as confidence in one's own worth or abilities. It's your self-respect, basically. It's how you see yourself, how you treat yourself. That's the general definition of self-esteem. But I like to always kind of figure out, for other people, it's what does self-esteem mean to you? Some people can think of it as it's the inner voice inside of you that is constantly telling you you're not good enough or that you are good enough. Self-esteem really is also about how we value ourselves, our perceptions, beliefs, and who we are, what we're capable of. It can be misaligned with other people's perceptions of who we are. For instance, somebody may have this amazing perception of you, but for some reason, you see them as somebody that doesn't respect you, or you feel like you have to prove yourself to them consistently or constantly. That can affect your self-esteem around that person. But really, they look at you in a different light. They think that you're an amazing person. They think you're impressive. You're not seeing it. You don't feel it. So there's that misalignment there that can happen. Why do people experience low self-esteem? There are ways to boost your self-esteem. Even if you feel as though you're struggling to do so, you can find ways to just really pick it up. And, generally, self-esteem issues most likely come from poor decision making or, a series of experiences in your life that has just led you down a road that hasn't been great. And because of that, you're feeling down on yourself. So you get bad news, something tragic has happened in your life, or you've just made some really bad career choices or life choices, and the consequences of those choices have taken a toll on you personally and others around you, and it's causing you to lose confidence in yourself and lose your self-worth and really who you are as a person. Somebody loses a job, for instance, they get laid off. Their self-esteem is going to shoot right down. They're not going to feel so great about themselves. They're going to be very nervous about how are they going to tell let's say their wife or husband or whoever it is that they live with, if they live with anybody, how are they going to break this news to them? How you're going to get through this tough time. And then all of a sudden that's day one, and then day two you wake up, and if you don't have a plan together, you're sitting there wondering, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to get another job? You start to get into this trend of, sleeping a little bit later every day and, staying up a little bit later every night because you're not going to work. And that's making some issues at home. And so that's one significant way that you can all of a sudden have low self-esteem, because you maybe feel like you're not contributing to the household bills or the things that are going on, financially, putting a stress on your relationship with your significant other. Bills are piling up. And so many different things can occur from that. But some of the things you can do to really increase your self-esteem: go for a walk, go for a hike, get out and be around other people, and don't stay in the environment where you feel as though you have low self-esteem. Do your best to help yourself out of that situation. Talk to loved ones and getting advice from people around you that love you and care for you and want to see you do well. Have them kind of give you a little bit of a pick-me-up. That actually will tie into the third topic that we have today, which is the negative people in your life and how if you have low self-esteem issues, negative people in your life aren't really going to do much to bring your self-esteem up. But if you remove the negative people and you have your positive people in your life, you'll find that those people, when you have low self-esteem issues, those are the ones that are going to pick you up and get you through the tough times. Thankfully in my life, I have an amazing core of people in my life that has supported me through thick and thin. They're people that have just constantly been my foundation. I would not be where I am at all today at any point without them. And so you have to have that. You have to have those people that you trust, that no matter what, those are the ones that you can go to in times of need. And I think I've also been able to return the favor and be there for them when they've needed me, or at least I hope so. And so you need to do that. You need to surround yourself with some good people. You can't change everything in one day, but you can start taking the steps to enhance the way you feel immediately. So if you've got an addiction that you want to break, you've got to try to break that addiction quickly. So let's use the topic of, let's say, cigarettes. Cigarettes have chemicals in them. Those chemicals will affect your brain. They will affect your body. They're going to affect a bunch of different things. You have an odor of cigarettes when you smoke them. Your breath starts to stink. Your clothing will stink, and it can lower your self-esteem if you're certain environments that you're in. They frown upon smoking. So just that alone, people feel self-conscious. I was a smoker for a pretty decent amount of years, and I was able to quit smoking, and that has raised my self-esteem levels. I feel great about the fact that I was able to beat this habit that I had that was such a bad habit, a disgusting habit, a habit that I was really embarrassed of, but I really had a struggle getting through that time and beating it. And I knew I needed to, but it was this addiction to this nicotine that I had to have, the cigarette, all the time. But I'm fortunate enough to say I was able to beat it. But I didn't just do it in a day. You have to take small steps. You've got to, start by going through and saying, okay, I'm going to get through the next 4 hours without smoking, or whatever it is that you want to stop doing. And then after you get through the next 4 hours, you say, okay, I'm going to get through another 4 hours. And then before you know it, it's, the day has ended, and whatever the case may be, the next day comes. And it's okay, I'm going to get through till noontime today. And then you continue to get your small steps until all of a sudden you've built up, hey, I've gone through 5 days, or wow, it's been 7 days, or hey, 30 days has passed. And every time that you pass those significant milestones that you've set for yourself, you should be happy for yourself, and you should celebrate them. For instance, quitting smoking for me, whenever I hit a 30-day mark, and I do this still now, I post on my wall however many days smoke-free. I also quit drinking as well, so I tie that in. I don't drink any alcohol, I don't smoke any cigarettes. When I have hit this mark that I have for myself, I throw it out there. And I'm not doing it for credit from anybody. What I'm actually doing it for is, it's kind of to hold myself accountable. By putting it out there, I feel, in public, it's allowing the people that I have in my life on my personal social media page to see that and then say, wow, okay, well, one thing, great for him, he's quitting his smoking, but also kind of hold me accountable because, by putting it out there, it means that people know that I'm doing this. So if I were to pick up smoking again, they may look at me and say, hey, I thought you were doing really good. What's going on with that? Or if I was about to maybe have an urge to pick up a cigarette, someone around me might say, hey, I just saw the other day that you're, 5 months, 6 months, however long, without smoking. What are you doing, man? You're gonna ruin all that because you have this urge to smoke, and that might stop me from doing it. So that's the reason why I kind of promote that. Someone will be there to kind of say, hey, think twice about this. So you want to do that stuff. You want to hold yourself accountable when you start to take those changes and make those changes in your life. Make sure some other people know about it so they can keep you accountable. But really, you have to continue to focus on you. And it's a good segue because focusing on you is the next topic. You have to understand in life, you are truly competing against one person, and that is yourself. That's your only competition that you should be concerned about. And that's the truth. You cannot worry about what other people are doing, about what their goals are, what motivates them. It's not of your concern, and you shouldn't worry yourself with the concerns of others. What you need to do is you need to worry about, and I wouldn't even say worry, but you need to focus on just being your best self, being the best person you can be. Commit 100% to you. Focus on you. Don't focus on others. Don't let other people's character flaws or weaknesses, impact you in any way. The world we live in today, People are so concerned about what other people think. People are doing things for their own reasons, whether they're good or bad. And you're never going to solve the questions that you have in your head about why people do or say things. And you have to remember that everything is perception. So as long as you're genuine and you do things for you because you genuinely feel that they're the best choices that you can make for yourself, and you're not out there trying to do something because you want to prove to somebody else that you're worthy, you belong, that you fit in, that your idea matters, that you have this skill that you want to brag about, and don't do it for that. Do it because you know it's right, you believe in it, and you don't care what anybody else around you thinks. I don't really care what anybody else thinks. That's truly the truth. I have no idea how many people will listen to this. I hope that people enjoy it. I want to put out content that is good, but I'm certainly not going to let it ruin my life if somebody says, that was the worst podcast I've ever heard in my life. Because you know what it's going to do? It's probably just going to motivate me to make my podcast better. So all the negativity, I try to turn into a positive. But, focus on you. Keep your goals in front of you. Don't compare what you do to somebody else. It doesn't matter. You're running in your own direction. You've got your own path that you're trying to follow. All that's enough to worry about. Okay, and for the last part of our podcast here, we're going to talk about toxic people in your life. Try to limit those people in your life. Now, you may have friends or family that you've known for a long time, friends that you've had since high school or even before then, or family members that you can't pick and choose those folks. For those folks, you may just have to deal with them, but you try to limit your encounters. And then for people in your life that are acquaintances or that maybe have been friends for the last couple of years, and you realize, this friendship isn't what I thought it was. It's certainly not, what it should be. And you're seeing it because of such negativity that these people have. That's a relationship in your life that you have to assess. And that's going to enhance your quality of life and also try to bring you to another level of quality in your life. Truly, if you surround yourself with fantastic people, successful people, people that are ambitious and motivated, you're going to emulate that. So if you want to be somebody that is successful, that is motivated, that has drive and purpose, you need to take the people that are lazy in your life and slackers, and you need to eliminate them from your life. And that's harsh to say, but that's the truth. Okay? That's just the way it is. You will turn into what it is you're around all the time. You will end up bringing yourself down to their level. And you don't want to do that. You want to maintain high standards, high respect for yourself. If you allow yourself to be reduced to somebody else's level, you're going to realize quickly that your life's going to spiral out of control. So you want to eliminate people that are judgmental, and that's a tough thing to do because most people are judgmental, but you want to really find the people in your life that are just overly judgmental. They criticize anything and everything they come in contact with. You take the time to explain something to them, but it literally goes in one ear and out the other, and before they've heard any facts, they've already concluded that they just don't want to listen. They can't communicate with you about it, just have no idea what you're saying. It's a waste of time to them. So somebody like that, I would probably analyze that relationship. The other is people that are envious. For me, being an entrepreneur is a bumpy journey. You've got highs and lows. And so it's important that you have a strong group of people around you, especially during the low times, to kind of talk you up. I was talking about self-esteem, to talk you up. It's important to have those supporters in the low times. And then it's also important to have those same people around when you hit the high times. They congratulate you. And somebody that is envious of you, that's jealous of you, they're never going to be happy for you. They feel like this is something that should happen to them and nobody else. And it's not even like it's something for you personally that you should be offended by this person. Somebody who's envious is not just envious of you. They're pretty much envious of everybody. It's a major character flaw. And so nobody around that person can have success, only them. And so when you have a high point, you will never hear praise from that person. That's a person that you might want to consider what type of relationship you guys have, and maybe cut that out if you can. You've got arrogance. Arrogant people don't confuse arrogance with confidence, by the way, but confident people, inspire, and arrogant people typically will annoy or intimidate somebody. Somebody with an arrogant attitude feels that he or she is better than everybody around them. Try to avoid people that are arrogant and, keep them really at bay as much as you can in your life. You should cut that person out. People that are always negative, they drain positive energy. They thrive on bringing people down around them. You're never going to receive words of encouragement from somebody that's negative. They'll discredit your ideas. Even instead of being positive, they'll go out of their way to probably point out every possible way you can feel, rather than focus on any possibilities and potential. And basically, they suck the energy right out of you. So eliminate your time with these people. If they're family and friends and you don't want to end that relationship, then you limit your time. And if they're people that you don't really care too much about, you try to just basically reduce that time to zero. Lastly, is you want to make sure that you do not surround yourself with people who lie. To be successful, you have to surround yourself with other successful people that you trust and you can count on to be there for you, and also that they can count on for you to be there for them. You cannot trust or count on a liar. And the reason why is because you will never know if they're lying or telling the truth to you. Get those liars in your lives and show them the door. If any of these type of personalities ring a bell with you, there's a good chance you're exposed to a toxic individual. Really consider removing them from the equation in your life, which will allow you to remain, fully focused on reaching goals without the unnecessary distractions. For me personally, I have vowed to remove all toxic people from my life. And so by doing this, I have, without a doubt, created a much better environment for my life, for the people around me that I love, my family that I love. And, you want to take the toxic people, remove them from your life, and move forward from there. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to check out our website, neverquitnation.com. You can contact me at our website, staff@neverquitnation.com as well. And be sure to download our podcast on iTunes, Google Play. It will also be available on YouTube, and of course our website, neverquitnation.com. Thanks, and have a great day.